Welcome.
You are watching Line Screw 1.
Well, good morning, YouTubers, wherever you are in this crazy YouTube universe. It's early morning here on the Algarve in Portugal. Figured I'd go for a nice walk. And I am wearing a jacket because it's a little chilly in the morning. I think it's 15 degrees Celsius, but it shall warm up by lunchtime and it will be in the 70s for you Fahrenheit people. So figured I will go for a walk while it's still not crowded and you can actually get a parking spot on the beach. And apparently this Portuguese lady that's walking in front of me, she saw me fighting with the parking machine and she was explaining to me, actually successfully in Portuguese, that they don't work, they're free. So I said, gratis? She goes, yes. So yeah, it's good. We just didn't have to pay, but parking's at a premium here on the beach for obvious reasons. Here, I'll show you what it looks like out there. So, the ocean's fairly calm. We got a little bit of rain last night, which is fine. I don't mind it when it rains at night because it is not going to interfere with my day. So, that's the lady behind me in the red jacket who told me it was free. It's funny how you can overcome language barriers just by simple words, pointing, gestures, things like that. There's a lot of non-verbal communication. Anybody that's owned a dog has figured that out. So, what's the agenda for today? I figured I was going to drive up the coast, the western direction, and see that part of Portugal. All the workers are getting ready to do their work. Sorry about the noise of the truck. I noticed that rush hour is always a little later here. People don't start super early, which is, I wouldn't either if I didn't have to. But yeah, it's a different world out here. But I figured I'd take the opportunity to talk about retirement and why the hell I'm even in Portugal. Oh, we got some art here. Art. Street art. You know, I've come to the opinion that retirement is kind of like a making a decision for who you're going to spend the rest of your life with. You don't marry the first person that comes around. I've seen people do that. It's a dumb idea. It's either a recipe for unhappiness or a quick divorce. And you kind of have to take the same perspective with retirement. And there's no real reason to rush when I'm in a pretty good situation, and I've been lucky to structure my life where I live well below my means. And I've got a lot of money to explore and do things and invest and all the wonderful things to do with additional income. Well, let me stop and adjust this. I think I might be angled a little bit too wrong. So I'm of the opinion that I shouldn't rush because things can go awry, and there's no reason to. There's no reason to rush. And there is no perfect place in the world. You name a city anywhere in the world, I can tell you the negatives. And I can tell you the positives too. So, you know, my main concerns are quality of life, affordability in terms of taxes, and cost of living. Because I don't want to position myself where suddenly I'm living at my means, or God forbid above my means. I think we've all done that in our youth of our life, where we've made bad decisions that way. So, you know, I'm going to ride the donkey while I still can. The money's still flowing in nice, and I'm living below my means, and so why rush? And there's a couple ways that retirement could play out for me. Part of me is tempted to just keep traveling the world and just live out of a suitcase. Now, some people say, oh God, that would suck. Well, It would suck if you're a rock star. I feel sorry for rock stars. You know, one night, two night in a hotel, off to the next one. I wouldn't want to do that. But, you know, a lot of these long stay apartments and a lot of countries allow you to legally stay for a reasonable amount of time. And you just move around and follow the sun. A few weeks here, a few months here, maybe 6 months here where you can. And I wouldn't mind trying that for a year. That's one possibility. Second one is just the home base where you just pull the plug from the home country, be a passport bro, and you find your home. It could be Portugal. The only thing I am finding with Portugal, the places that I would like to live the most are the most expensive, but that's typical of anywhere in the world. You know, if you wanted to live in California where the taxes are crazy and high, you probably want to live where it's safe, away from the crime and the hustle and bustle, and you're going to want to live in Bel Air or, you know, some nice part of the state where most people can't afford. So, and then there's the, you know, the temporary home base where you get an apartment that's cheap, that you don't have to be at all the time. Somebody else is cutting the grass, and you just keep traveling, and you come home when you need to, and you're on the road when you want to. That could work also for me. It's about mood, but like I said, my financial situation is pretty darn good at the moment that I kind of don't want to be rushed to make a bad decision that could put me in a scenario where I'm blowing through a lot of cash and living at my means. You know, you don't want to have every dollar that you earn going out. And I know it's what 70% of people in North America now live hand to mouth. I don't want to do that. I want more the ratio to be a dollar comes in and 20 cents goes out. And not to do it in a poverty lifestyle. Too many people do it by pinching the pennies. Now, some people can do it by, you know, make 400,000 a year and live on 50 grand. Very few people can pull that off either. But you know, it's all about priorities, keeping the living expenses low, and just being practical with your money. And don't you know, waste it on dumb things like big car payments or owning a place where the property taxes are killing you, the HOA fees are killing you, the insurance is killing you, utilities are killing you. So you know, I'm fortunate, and I'm more than anything, I'm thankful. It took me years to live like this, and of course part of that plan, hate to say it, I don't pay the vagina tax. So many people I know, and I've done it in the past, you know, typically a lot of ladies my age can't afford to retire, and last thing you know, you're in a relationship and they're making you pay for their dreams because they're annoyed that you've got money coming in and you're sitting on your ass. Meanwhile, they're going into a job that they hate every day, and it's not going to work out in the end. I've paid for too many ladies' dreams in the past. Learned my lesson. Not to say that I don't still have relationships with the fairer gender, but I don't get too serious. I treat it like how I'm transitioning into retirement. Take it slow. Is anybody dying? Are you dying of cancer? What's the rush? I actually had, you know, one of my semi-recent relationships, somebody squeezing my head. Actually, the last probably 4 were squeezing my head to, you know, play house with them and move on with them. And I was like, no, why would I give up all this easy living that I have just to knuckle under and make you happy? Yeah, no, it's time for me to be happy. Now, to be fair, there are women that get stuck in that same deal where they're paying for some guy's dreams. Oh, I've seen that. I've seen some guys do it nefariously well. The best I saw was, I worked with this one guy from Barbados. He was a former police officer from Barbados, and he meets a lady from Canada. Oh, look at the pigeons. It's like Trafalgar Square here. See, somebody's feeding them. I'll continue with my story after I show you the pidgeonis. Of course they're there. They're hungry. I miss Philip. Philip, my bird. He's being looked after well. So anyway, back to the story. So this guy I knew meets a Canadian in Barbados, and she's a retired airline executive. So she got free flights, and she had a few bucks. So he realizes, hey, this is a great opportunity to get my ticket out of Barbados, move to Canada, live in her beautiful house free, and I can fly home to my house and visit my friends in Barbados whenever I want, because I can just use the family flight perks that they get. And he did this, and of course he was always cheating on her, because he married a lady that, let's just say, she wasn't nice to look at, but she had money and she had perks. So he after a few years of milking that, I should turn around, I don't know how many blocks I want to walk down here, but after milking that for quite a while, he came into a fair bit of money, because all his money, he had a pension from the Bahamas police force, and he had investments, and he was renting out his property, and I think he even inherited a house from his dad that died. So he had a lot of money coming in, but no expenses, because he's living for free in Canada. Of course, he's always got girlfriends on the sides, and she gets him a government job too at the same time. That's where I met the guy. So he's got cash flowing in, and he's always, you know, screwing around on the old lady. And eventually she finds out and she gives him the boot. But over about 5 to 10 years, he milked her big time. So I don't want anybody to think that it's one of those situations where it's a one-sided gender issue, because it's not. It can happen to either one. So like I said, avoid the penis or vagina tax if you can. You know, love who you want to love. I find I don't need a marriage license to love people. You can love your friends too. And most importantly, you gotta love yourself. Because in the end, if you're in a relationship and they're milking you for cash, once your cash is gone, the love is gone. It's funny how that happens, eh? So don't be that person. And take all your decisions seriously. Have fun. You gotta have lighthearted days. I mean, as far as I'm concerned, this is a lighthearted moment right now. Just walking on the beach and enjoying the ambiance, doing sweet FA with my time, except for what I want to do. So I am approaching retirement carefully, and this is, you know, basically a trial run to look-see. I actually met somebody who lives here in British Columbia, and they're involved in real estate. A super nice guy. I'm actually going to go have lunch. I even told him, I said, hey, I'll buy you lunch. I want to pick your brain on living here in Faro. He's originally from England, and he's been living here for quite a while. So an excellent resource. And you know, it's nice to have friends in the area. Even a shout out to Kaz, who I met in Gibraltar about 9 months ago. Super nice guy, great resource for the area. And yeah, you can find him on Jib TV if you haven't checked out his stuff already. So yeah, it's you know, one of those things. I think it's very important to take your time, see what works, because there is no perfect place. When I see people that say, oh, I'm living in the perfect place, well, no, you're either selectively ignoring some things, or I don't know, or you're living in a gated community and you have servants that do everything for you, and you don't even live in reality. And even that, who wants to do that? In fact, my apartment is in a gated community, and I'm safely locked away at night. And it's nice, but you are insulated from the locals in reality by doing that. Some people like that. But if you're going to take your culture that you're coming from to retire and just import it somewhere and lock yourself away from the locals, what's the point? I mean, you know, I'm here to rub shoulders with the locals and to learn, see, and experience. You know, there's some things here I'm gonna like, some things I'm not. Like around here, the Portuguese, they're surrounded by ocean on two sides. They eat a lot of fish. I'm not a fish person. And at my age, you know, I'm kissing 60. I don't think I'm gonna suddenly have a love of fish. Now, I don't mind Canadian salmon, you know, in small amounts, cod or halibut, but they eat all sorts of fish. Fish here that I'm not a fish person. But they do eat a lot more healthier. I've been in many grocery stores, and the lack of highly processed factory food is less abundant here than it is in any grocery store in North America. So if that's a problem for you, you should still, you know, keep living where you're living. If you think living in Stockton, California, where you're close to your Albertsons and your frozen pizzas and factory canned food, well, I think you should stay in Stockton. And especially the more ignorant you are and the more closed-minded you are to life, I think the more you actually should stay where you're at, because you will not survive out here. You will not adapt linguistically, culturally, food-wise, monetarily wise. You won't. So that's my 2 cents to the ignorant. But to the intrepid and those that want to go their own way, kind of like Migto, you can actually do it right. And you know, fundamentally, people are the same. They all want opportunity for themselves and their family. They want clean streets, safe streets. You know, they want to make a life for themselves. And at least here, it's really safe. It's safer here than most cities in North America, at least the large ones. So, and the people are friendly, and they're fairly accepting of foreigners. But I'm thinking that the problem that is about to happen, actually it's happening as we speak, is that there are so many companies that are pushing retire in Portugal, and they're selling goods and services to people like myself. You know, they'll sell tax advice, legal advice, real estate, apartment leases, whatever you want, they'll sell it to you. And they're attracting more and more people because it is cheaper. And that will drive money up because it's external money coming from more affluent parts of the world coming here. And you'll get the Vancouver situation where, you know, I've lived in Vancouver on and off for decades, and I've seen where, you know, a house used to be 300 grand, now a piece of crap house is 2.5 million. And to some extent, that will probably happen here because foreign money will pour in and drive up costs. What can you do? We're all mobile. Those who are willing can move their capital. I mean, the world has gotten so small, I can walk to a bank machine and access my cash from Canada easily. Not like the old days. You know, decades ago it was a lot harder. Now it's cheaper, faster, more reliable. So anyway, sun is finally up a little bit further here. I think I'm finished rambling, and some of the workers with their power equipment are going to be making some noise, so I might as well cut it off here. So put your comments down below. Hope you're doing well wherever you are, and I'll talk to you soon. Keep your wheels on the ground. Over to
This film required editing to make it suitable to be shown.
Who saw you just the other day? Oh, I guess that you can go to figure out what we've done, what we need to do. Yeah, I got you, I got you, I got you.